What's up guys, I'm Newbie Dave and today we're building a smokehouse. Let's get started. What's going on everybody? We are back up on the surface again for today's build. I know we've done a lot of work underground in the caves recently, but I've decided that the surface of this area is looking a little bit bare. So I want to show you something. First of all, this cave still looking gorgeous. I did go ahead and breed up my axolotls and I put the two original ones in buckets in here. So if they should die for some reason, then I don't lose all my axolotls. In fact, looks like the two babies have grown up. So let me go ahead and breed them as well. And I will try to rebuild my axolotl army that I once had. But yeah, I want to show you guys something. If I come up here to the top of my gliding platform and we look down at my base from on top, it's kind of boring. There's not a whole lot there. And we've actually done a whole lot of work on this base. And anytime I go out exploring and come back, I'm always just a little bit disappointed that it's still just this one little structure, not little, this one structure in the middle of these mountains and this one little building over here. I want this whole area to come to life. I want a lot of buildings. I want some paths and roads. I want some nice looking trees. And so I want to do another build up on the surface here. And that's why I've decided to build this little smokehouse. So a smokehouse is just, I guess it could also be like a butcher or a slaughterhouse. It's basically where animals go to get turned into, let's say like sausage or non-animal living parts, to put it nicely. So first I need to fill this little gap in. I've gone down into this little bit cave here before, just exploring what's down there. There's nothing down there. I never want to go down there ever again. So I'm just going to close this off so we have a nice little area to build in. Because I think this spot right here, you know, I've already started to go off in that direction a little bit. I've got the little path that leads up to our tunnel that goes up to the gliding platform. This is kind of the next little spot that I want to build in. Maybe in the near future we'll also put something over there. I also want to do something with that waterfall up there. It comes down and just kind of stops halfway. I think it would be nice to have that come all the way down, either to this bottom area into a pond, or maybe just something right up here maybe. And then we'll throw something on that side as well. But I want to just really surround this middle structure with a lot of buildings and really start to have this surface area come to life. So these trees are going to have to go. I think, yeah, this where I want to build this is actually kind of right back here in this corner. And so these trees definitely are going to have to go. I think these trees as well, if I don't end up actually building anything right here where these trees would have been in the way, then I can just come back and replace them. I kind of like to clear out a little bit more than I might need to when working on a build, and then I can come back afterwards and plant some new trees, because I don't want to just completely tear up the area. I picked this area because it's pretty. I like the way it looks. I like the trees, but we also need to build here. So sometimes I just have to remove the trees and then I'll come back and plant them. I did that when I built my blacksmith forge. This tree right here obviously was not there to begin with. I don't know why I said obviously. There's nothing obvious about that. But I did come back and plant this tree here afterwards to kind of fill in some of the area that we had to clear out to make that build. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing over here as well. Yeah, that's better. Now we need to clear out a little bit more dirt because this is a hill and hills are hard to build on. I need a nice flat area to build on. Like I said, I'm going to kind of try to push this back into this corner pretty far. I want to leave some space over here for maybe some future build. It may end up just being an extension of today's build, or I may do some other, like, I don't think I can get two full builds in this area, but I might do like some crops or some vegetation of some sort on the other side. So I want to kind of push this build back this way into the hill as far as I can. There we go. I think that's going to be enough space. I actually think Now that I've got my little work area set up, I actually think I want to lower this a little bit more, because if I come over here, it's 3 blocks up right now. Actually, no, I think that's going to be okay. Maybe what we do, because I was worried about having like a really steep climb to get up there, but maybe what we do is just kind of dig this part out a little bit. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. I think that'll be fine. Yeah, I'll worry about the path up there after I'm done. I just want to make sure that it wasn't going to be like way up on this hill that is a kind of a steep climb to get up to. But I think this will be good. So let me fill in a little bit more of this, and then we'll be ready to start. By the way, I don't know if I've ever kind of explained my thought process when working on a build like this with my little work area set up. I always like to have a bed nearby, especially when working outdoors, so that as nighttime approaches, I can just sleep right here and get back to work. I don't have to travel back to my base or back to some other location to sleep. And then, you know, you need some workstations, whatever you're going to be working with. Because I'm going to be using stone, I need a stone cutter so I can make stairs and slabs. And then I always have a chest that has my building materials for this build, but then I like to throw down another chest, because as you're working on this build, you're gonna end up with waste. Look at all this dirt and grass and snow and stone that I've already collected, and I haven't even started building anything yet. I've just been clearing. And so rather than that cluttering up my inventory, or rather than having to go back to my base to unload all that stuff, I can just drop it in this chest and just get it out of my way. So I think that's a really good suggestion when working on a build. Just have kind of a garbage chest. This stuff's all eventually going to go into my storage room. I just don't want to have to make trips back and forth in the middle of a build to do that. So now we can get started, and let's talk about our build palette. I know I've said I want to be a little bit more adventurous with my build palette and building materials this season, but I am going to stick to spruce and cobblestone mostly for this build, because spruce is just kind of what I am doing this base out of. And all of the different structures, they need to kind of be tied together in some way. You don't want like one build made out of deep slate, another build made out of spruce, and then one out of quartz and terracotta and brick, and just there has to be some connecting element to all of it. And for this build in particular, I really think that the spruce and cobblestone look really good together for this sort of smokehouse or butcher house or something. So I'm going to come back here into the corner, not quite the exact corner. I'm going to come in 1 block from each wall, and we'll do a column there. Then I'm going to come over 1, 2, 3, and then we'll do on the 4th row another column here. So this thing's actually not going to be huge. It's only going to be 3 blocks wide. So this will be kind of a small structure. And then the side wall is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll on the 6th row we'll do another pillar there, and then one across from that. So yeah, 3 by 5 are going to be the dimensions for the walls of this thing. And then for the base, what I think I want to do is I'm going to do cobblestone all the way around, but I'm going to start with just some cobblestone blocks in the corners like this. And then let's come back with some cobblestone stairs. And let's do some upside down stairs. Whoops. We'll do some upside down stairs in between the corners like this. I've done this on a couple builds before, and I think it looks really, really good. I'm going to say this a lot. I have said it a lot. I'm going to keep saying it. I like to have some variety in texture and depth in my build, so it's not just a flat wall. I really like using the stairs, either inverted or upright, to create that sort of depth. Now on the front here, that one may have gone to waste because we're going to do another stair right in front of it, and this is going to be our front door to get into this building. So I think on top of this, I'm now going to do a row of spruce, like so. So the cobblestone is really just the foundation. This is kind of the beginning of the wall. So let me go ahead and put the floor in. Now for this, I am going to go back to the jungle wood that I used in my tunnel. I found out that I really like jungle wood for my floors now. I'd never really used jungle wood much in any builds before. I always thought it looked kind of strange, but after using it in my tunnel, I really like this earthy look on the jungle wood. And so I'm going to use this for my floor again, which will also help connect this build to the tunnel, which is nearby. Now for the rest of this build, I don't want to do the entire walls out of spruce. I kind of want to incorporate some cobblestone and some mossy cobblestone as well. And so let me play around with this. I think I might actually mix the two. Like maybe I'll do some mossy cobblestone and cobblestone, but then some spruce next to that. I don't know. When I practiced this build ahead of time, I actually did all the walls out of cobblestone. I didn't do any spruce for the walls. But I kind of want to throw in some spruce for the walls and not just have it all be one material. And so I'm actually making this part up as I go, and I have no idea how it's going to work. So let me take a step back and look at this. You know, it's different, but I kind of like it. I'm gonna live with it. I'm gonna live with it until the end of the build at least, and see what I think of it. I think it might work, because what it kind of says to me is like when I don't know what the style is called, but when people would build houses using wood for the walls, but then overlay like stucco or some sort of concrete over that, and then over time the concrete kind of chips off and you can kind of see the wood underneath it. That's kind of what it makes me think of. Now I'm also going to do something a little bit different for the roof that I've never really done before. But first let me get up here and I'm going to raise the walls by one more block, and then I'm going to do some spruce logs going all the way around, just as kind of a liner, a border around between the walls and the roof. And then for the roof, what I want to do, I usually use stairs. I usually use either stairs or slabs for my roofs, but I'm going to do something a little bit different this time. I'm going to just use the spruce logs. And because these are directional, I kind of have to put in a few temporary blocks to get started. And then what I'm going to do is, actually that one's not going to go right there. It needs to go down one. So there's going to be one right there. And then we're going to do a row of spruce at the same level as the top of the wall that goes all the way back and sticks out by one. Now we can replace this one since we have something on this side to attach it to, just like that. We'll do the same thing right here. Whoops. We'll do the same thing right here. We will do a row of spruce logs. And so the roof is just going to be entirely made out of spruce logs. I think that will make this build look a little bit more rustic, more like a log cabin, which I think is going to look really, really cool for this particular type of structure. I want it to look more like a cabin or just something that was thrown together quickly out in the wild somewhere. Almost like a very early game structure, like you've just started and you've only got a couple spruce logs and some cobblestone, and this was the best that you could come up with at the time. I realize that we're not early game at this point, far from it. But some of these early game builds can still look pretty nice even late in the game, if that is the style that you're going for. Alright, so now let's take a step down and see how this looks. Yeah, I kind of like it. I like it. I'm happy with it. It does have that rustic charm that I was going for. Now we need to fill in the gaps between the top of the wall and the roof, and for that I'm going to do something else a little bit different that I've never done before. I'm going to use some green stained glass and some oak trap doors. Now stay with me. What I want to do is we'll come inside here and I'm going to fill in the gap with the green stained glass. But I don't actually want to see the green stained glass from the outside. I want to put these oak trap doors in front of it. But if it was just the oak trap doors, then you would just see through them and it wouldn't look solid. It would look like you just had sort of a mesh in front of it. And so the green glass is actually just meant to be kind of a background for the trap doors. Yeah, I like it. It's different. The green is subtle, but it gives it sort of a background for the trap doors since the oak trap doors are see-through. Yeah, I'm trying to be different. I'm trying to do different things this season. Some of it may work out, some of it might not, but it is fun to try different things. All right, let's go inside for a little bit. I'm going to grab my spruce door. Also going to get a smoker. We'll get a little bit of granite and some dark oak. We need some lighting. And I think this will do for now. So for the front door, let's see. Do I want the front door flush with the wall or do I want it set in? I think I'm going to do flush with the wall actually. And then if we come inside, I want to put my smoker kind of on something. I don't want it to just sit on the floor, so I'm thinking granite for that. and then we'll put our smoker on top, but that looks kind of weird, so I'm going to put some granite slabs on either side as well. And now maybe we can put a lantern in one of these corners to kind of light this area up. Okay, yeah, that works. And then on this side, I'm going to do some dark oak as sort of a counter or a workspace. And so like this is where you would cook stuff, but then this is where you would work and do things. And then we need some sort of storage in here. So let me grab an extra chest and we'll put this in between those two. We also need a crafting table. You always want to have a crafting table in each building, each structure, so you don't have to go really far away to work with a crafting table. And I think I'm actually just going to throw this in the ground right here. I like having crafting tables just sort of buried in the ground. They don't take up as much space and they look really cool from the top, I think. Now, something else that I want to do here is I want to have a door that leads to the outside. So I'm actually going to punch a hole in the wall right here, and I'm going to put in a second spruce not trap door, just regular door. This one I think I am going to have it inset into the wall from the outside. And then I'm actually going to fill this outside, not completely fill, but surrounded like this with some grass. And this is going to be a sort of outdoor pasture area. I've got some pigs tied up over here. Good, they're still there. Make sure they didn't despawn. I actually had to go back to my old base to find those pigs, because I just haven't seen a whole lot of animals, pigs or anything else, spawn in this little mountainous area. I don't know why, so I had to go back to my old base, get some pigs, and bring them back through the nether. But yeah, I want to stick some pigs in this little pasture area, and I want it to kind of stand out, so let me dig out some of this grass around it, and then we're going to put some fences on the outside so that the pigs stay in. And before I seal this up, I'm going to go ahead and get my pigs, because it's a whole lot easier to just bring them in and then put the fence up rather than trying to get them through the house. So I actually only want 2 pigs. I brought 3 because I ended up with 3 pigs, and I figured why not? You know, if one of them got killed or despawned, I had an extra, but I only want the 2. So we'll put these guys in this little pasture and seal it off good. And they are home. I did go ahead and breed these. That's actually why I had 3. I bred them just to make sure that they don't despawn. I don't know if that keeps them from despawning or if there's other things you can do. I wasn't going to waste a name tag on my pigs. But yeah, they should not despawn now. I also want to, let me see if I brought some chicken eggs. I want to throw in like 1 or 2 chicken eggs as well. Yeah, so I want to get some chickens in there. If you just throw a chicken egg, I think it has like a 1 in 8 chance of spawning a chicken. Oh, well, there we go. First try. Awesome. So, let's do 2. Why not? There we go. All right, 2 chickens. We'll wait for them to grow up. And that's going to be our livestock for this smokehouse. At this point, the structure is done. Is that true, or do I want to put a window in? I think I want to put a window in. When you're inside, it's a little bit closed off. And so I brought some iron bars to use as a window. I might as well go ahead and do that. And because we've got our door right here, the window, I think, I don't want it to be huge actually. I think I'm just going to do 1 piece right here. And then maybe we'll do another piece on the other side to kind of match. Even though you're just looking at hill on that side. I think this kind of opens up the build a little bit. And then from the outside, does that look all right? Yeah, that looks good. I like it. All right, so at this point, all that's really left is to do a little bit of detail work. And so I'm just going to do a sort of video montage for that. All right, let's take a look at the final product. I've went ahead and put in a nice little path with my standard lighting, bone mealed the area around it to bring some life to it. and just put a few decorations on the outside. I've never done this with the slabs on the corners, but I really like it. It gives the footprint, gives the floor of this thing a little bit of sort of life of its own, I guess. Put a little light source on the corner of this thing. I put in some trapdoors and some water to look like a little watering trough in there, but the pigs are going crazy trying to use that to get out. So I may remove that. I don't know. That's kind of bugging me. I put in some brown concrete powder around that because it looks a whole lot like mud. And until we actually have mud in 1.19, I think this is as close as you're going to get. I forgot I wanted a chimney on the building, so I went ahead and threw a chimney on top as well. It does not actually connect to anything inside. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to make this chimney come through, and in the end I decided that it just doesn't need to. You're going to look at it from the outside and be like, oh, that's a cool chimney, and then as soon as you open this door you're going to forget that there's a chimney, because it doesn't really matter. One last thing I want to do, since this is a smokehouse, is I'm going to put a couple of tools in here. So I'm going to put an item frame with some shears right there. Those can be like our scissors, and actually no, I'm gonna put an axe on the item frame here, and then I will hang up some shears on the wall. Yeah, those are our tools to use in this building for the things that you would do in this building. Yeah, the ones with pigs outside and the smoker inside. Yeah, these are the tools you would use for those. I think I made my point clear. And that is going to wrap things up. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I realize this was a very basic build, but sometimes the basic builds can look really nice in an advanced base. Thank you so much to my patron Summer. Really appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button, and while you're down there, feel free to subscribe so you'll get notified of future episodes as they come out. Thanks y'all, and have a great day.